All right, if I put a lot of thought in this, if you're the type of person that makes big, audacious goals to change everything at the new year, or if you just want to have a more successful year than 2025, I honestly think like I have something to offer on this one. Like, stick around. I think I've got some value. Um, and the reason is because I am that type of person. I always have big, audacious goals. I want to change everything, completely transform at New Year. And I just think, it's new me, new year. The whole thing. I buy into it, hook, line, and sinker every single time. And this year, it never works. I mean, it never works completely. I do always ramp up and do more at the beginning of the year, and that kind of keeps going throughout the year. And I'll explain why, my theory on why, because I think it's really, really important, especially for people who are similar to me and have kind of seasonal depression or get a little lower in the winter. I think this can really, really help because this has taken me a long time to hone in on and really understand for myself. So the reason it doesn't work for me is because as the year goes on, I get more and more energy all the way up until the middle of summer during summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And then very slowly coming into winter solstice in December, I get less and less energy as the days get shorter. I get less motivated. The difficulty in life, the dial just turns up. The same things that are easy in March are difficult in November, say. And so I'm taking that into account this year rather than having a complete life transformation on January 1st. Like, I'm just going to set 3 very subtle goals. I mean, one of them's big and audacious, I guess, but pretty subtle goals for the year. I want to be grateful in every moment that happens. I want to be happier and grateful in as many moments as I can and get really good at suffering and suffering nobly and happily and enjoying it and getting really good at pulling myself out of suffering back into happiness and just learn to be happier in this moment all the time. Goal number 2, spend more time with people I love. 2025 was a super lonely year for me. Was just trying to restart my life and grinding after a big breakup and change in jobs that I was at, and then broke both my femurs, fractured my back, broke my ankle, and was hospitalized for a while. And when I am struggling and hurting and am at my lowest, I tend to self-isolate. So it was a very, lonely year all in all. A lot of time for reflection and just a lot of thinking. And it was what I needed. It was perfect in that regards. It was very difficult, but I want to spend more time with people I love. And I also want to own a sailboat. Now that's a big audacious goal. I wanted to say start circumnavigating the world December 2026, but realistically, if I thought to myself, what would make 2026 feel totally successful to you? Those first 2 goals are the main things. But I was like, if I just own a sailboat and can go sailing, own a catamaran, and can be working on it, adapting it out, and start the process of circumnavigation, I'll be very happy. I'll be very, very stoked. 2026 would be a landslide success if I could go out and go free diving in, remote places and go surfing and everything that comes with owning a sailboat. It would be on a sailboat and learn to sail is main big audacious goal. Not going to package anything else in there. Those are the things. If I can accomplish those things, 2026 rocks. And I know that I'll naturally, as time goes on, as there's more sun throughout the day and the season pushes forward from January onwards, I will naturally be able to stack more and more on throughout the year as I get more energy. And so I don't need to do it all now. January 1st, when I'm at basically my absolute lowest, like December 21st before Christmas, that's bottom of the barrel for me as far as energy and excitement for life and motivation and work and everything. And then it ticks upwards throughout the year as time goes on. So I guess, just have awareness of your own patterns. It took me years to hone in on this. The first thing I realized was that during like November, December, I blow my life up every year. That's when I quit my job. That's when I change everything. It's very much a transitional period of time for me where I get very frustrated with whatever I'm doing and hunt for like the next thing. I realized that years ago, and so I've been able to pull back on that a little bit. And I mean, it's no surprise that I decided that I wanted to circumnavigate the world and sail, because that big blowing up of my life is always a retuning to what's the most important to me. So it's not net negative, it's huge negative impact on my trajectory that I was on, but it's because I wasn't being really cognizant and intentional about the next thing that I kind of, when the big change happened and everything, transitioned each year, I would just kind of at random glob onto something and pick, whether it was for financial reasons or for fun or whatever it was, I would just pick something and like go on in on that without super careful consideration for who I actually am and what's actually important to me. I've realized that I cannot fight or resist or try to fit myself into the whatever. If I'm a square peg into the round hole that is normal modern society, it doesn't work for me. Live in a house, 9 to 5, 10 to 10, whatever it is, working a normal job, not pursuing adventure and creative pursuits every single day, all day, it's never going to work for me. I have to do creative things with lots and lots of spontaneity and lots of variety. I have to be able to work really hard in sprints and then have adventures and relax that still involve working, but it has to constantly change. I crave novelty, and there's just no reason to fight it anymore. One of the interesting things I did, which you may or may not find useful, is I have all my information about myself, for better or for worse, in ChatGPT and Grok, and I transferred it all between them and said, ChatGPT, I've been talking to you a lot. Can you write me a letter as though you're writing it to my doctor, to my therapist, to my business coach, to my life coach? I did separate letters for each of those, and then I put those letters into Grok and vice versa. And so they both have a really good grasp of what's going on. And what I've done is taken tons of personality tests, all the information about what my goals are, what I like, who I am, IQ tests. I mean, just a huge amount of information. Put it all into there, and then asked what are my weaknesses? What am I absolutely weakest at? What are my strengths? How do I, bolster or get rid of my weaknesses? How do I play to my strengths? And it was like absolutely worst case scenario for you is monotony, and like boring corporate type stuff. Like it's never going to work. You're going to be fighting an upstream battle for your entire life. You're always going to, unfortunately, because I'm in insurance sales, and it, with no parsing of words, was like, you're always, hey, Cleo, chill. You're always going to, the Valerian has the ball, and she desperately wants to change that. We'll change that in a little bit. We can both play fetch. We can share. It basically said that that's going to be as hard for you as anything possibly could be in life. Like it's the antithesis of who you are and your personality types, all the traits you have. Doing a monotonous task of selling people a really boring product, essentially, is just going to, that has tons of moral qualms in it, because it said basically like the convergence of your IQ, your personality type, and everything is going to create this constant moral dilemma inside of every sale. And that is one of the things that has been super challenging for me, is considering all of the potential possibilities of what could happen and being like, this isn't the absolutely ideal thing that you could do with that money or time, and just being like, morality overtakes any sort of self-preservation or money, because that's apparently really, really not important to me. And even though I've made it important, I've made money like an idol or a thing in my life, but it was never money. It was always like just enough security to get by, and do adventures and do other things was always like really what I was searching for. Um, and there was a time where I was desperately searching for admiration and love, and did genuinely just want to care for my family and let them escape, the things that are financially hard for them. Like it was a mix of good and bad, but it's never gonna like overtake a moral decision, is what AI says about me, which is crazy because I'm a shitty person in so many ways, but it hurts me really, really bad to be shitty. I just choose to hurt myself over and over again, which is hurt others and thereby, mortally inflict, holes and wounds in my soul, because it apparently affects me very negatively, according to AI's breakdown of, all the personality traits and everything that I have. So anyways, in saying that, I'm just going to try to go downstream. I'm trying to choose something that I naturally have proclivities for. I love editing and filming and making videos. I love doing podcasts. I love adventure. I want to, my good friend Maya pointed out to me yesterday when we were driving, like how inspiring and cool it will be to be sailing the world as a disabled person. I didn't even really like take that fully into account because I just don't want to give myself any credit. That's just by my nature. I just don't think that I have a lot to offer. I just think most people have, are living their life according to what works best for them. And, why would I be able to intervene in that? But she did say how inspiring and motivating and cool that would be as a disabled person. I was like, yeah, you're right. If I saw a paraplegic circumnavigate the world, which has happened, but if I watched it, I would be very motivated by that. And I do have an incredible amount of drive and energy, but it's not like just innate in me. I have to muster it every single day. I have to, like, just today I was down and out. I mean, done for. I was completely and totally defeated. It took me, I slept through most of the morning and then went back to bed, and from like 11 to 12:50 I laid in bed just trying to get out, like just trying to muster some sort of anything inside me. Like everything seemed impossible. Like I just needed to move some stuff around my room, set up a studio, but like there's tons of tasks sitting around me that are undone. I needed to do laundry, I need to clean my bathroom, I had an insurance appointment at 2 to sell some health insurance, and everything felt completely and totally insurmountably impossible. Like 10 years ago, you told me climb Everest, like, and snowboard down or something, I would have been like, I can do it, not a problem. And now I can't even get out of bed and, do my laundry. I couldn't do it. And what I did, and what works for me, you have your theories, I have my theories on why it works, but for some reason, if I'm down and out, totally and utterly defeated, if I just type in prayers on YouTube, like, and whatever comes up, like gratefulness, whatever it is, if I just listen to that, and it's like AI voices, it's not even real people, I don't think, and it's just people like plugging into AI, write me prayers, and then like an AI voice reads it. And for whatever reason, whether I even focus on the prayer or not, it musters energy up inside me, and I'm able to take the first step. And I just tell myself, you just got to make it 10 minutes. Like, just do whatever you can do for the next 10 minutes, and then figure out the next 10 minutes after that. So I got up, got dressed, took the dogs for a walk to the park in the sun, played ball with them. I mean, like, disheveled, fucked up, defeated. And that just gave me a little bit of momentum, a little bit of energy. And then I got in my standing frame and stood for a little bit of momentum, little bit of energy, and also just decreased my pain in general a little bit, turned down the dial of my pain, because standing does that for me. And like standing in my standing frame, which is relatively easy to do, seemed impossible. Like it was just this insurmountable task, but I got that momentum, started moving forward, and then that carried over into organizing my room and doing my laundry, and then even made me like this seemed insane to me. Like being able to get on camera and talk to a camera and be coherent and motivated and excited about life and have a cohesive, long, extended thought pattern that hopefully didn't totally suck, seemed impossible. So it's just about the little things that even with everything that Grok knows about my goals and everything, Grok works a bit better for this, but I'll use ChatGPT too. If I'm at utter and total defeat and I don't know what to do, I'll be like, considering all my goals, who I am, the chronic pain, all my injuries, what can I do for the next 10 minutes to just push the thing forward, to get some energy? It'll usually be like breathing techniques and gratitude techniques, or like just go for a walk. It's like the thing that I know to do, but I am so discombobulated, confused, overwhelmed that just asking an AI, which is weird enough, and who knows where this goes, what I can do for the next 10 minutes to really push the needle forward has been incredibly helpful. It's been a really, really good tool. And I'm asking Grok to act as my therapist. I'm fully leveraging AI, if you can't tell, on everything. Business coach, life coach, doctor, friend. Like, I'm just like, this is an amazing tool. Who knows where it goes? Probably going to get super dystopian. We'll see. But for now, it's working, and I'm giving them a wonderful profile to build, market, do whatever that deceive me in the future. But I just don't care. It's working for me now, and I'm just 10 minutes at a time, baby, because that's most of my day. That's all I can afford to worry about. When I even extend it to what I need to do in the afternoon, I'm completely overwhelmed most of the time, because this is hard, guys. If you have a spinal cord injury, if you don't, or you have some other type of injury, just whatever's happening, life seems to deliver the max we can deal with most of the time, with little bits of beautiful respite and bliss, as long as you keep learning to deal with that max in a more and more graceful way. Then you seem to get rewarded. But, oh no, I lost my thought a little bit there. I don't know. Let's just call it quits. It's New Year's Eve, baby. I don't have any plans. I got asked to do a couple things that honestly sound exhausting me. I didn't sleep very much last night. I really don't want to drink, and I know if I go in a social situation, I'm going to be really likely to partake at least a little bit. And I just think I might want to start off the new year completely fresh. But I also am incredibly lonely, incredibly bored, and think that a good, healthy social interaction to kick off 2026 might be the best thing for me. So we'll just see. My energy level seems to be waxing at the moment, and I 25 minutes ago, doing anything outside of my house was out of the question. I had no desire whatsoever to do anything. I didn't reach out to anyone, didn't ask anyone what they're doing, because it was just impossible. I had no idea that I was even going to maybe feel like leaving this house today. So we'll see. We'll just kind of roll the dice and see what happens. But no matter what happens, we're kicking off 2026. I really hope it's better than 2025 for me and for you. I don't know how your 2025 was, but I hope that, we just have a good year in general. I have a good out. I'm very positive that 2025 was just a tough, crazy year in general. And I think it's going to get crazier next year, but less tough for a lot of people. I just have an inclination that that's going to happen. It seems like we're at a high pressure, high intensity moment in society in general, and I'm excited. So let's just see what the fuck happens. Happy New Year. Lots of love as always, and yeah, I'll see you next year.